was thinking if I was going to do a memory check for myself, but I think if Nadia knows, then everybody knows. Then I
Right.
can
Okay.
easily obtain that information. So
Right.
I'll help her
Okay.
to memorize.
Good.
I got an 8.
Okay,
So
so
you have
that's
one
one die. Helma?
It's another die, and it's a really good result. But
Oh,
that doesn't
well,
help.
yes. Max?
Oh well, if I had rolled this, I would have gotten a incredible. So
Well,
it's only one
another die.
Yeah.
And from
I would
Ola,
have
are you
rolled an
helping too or not?
unbelievable, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm helping too, but I rolled poor,
Okay,
so I don't know.
so Emma with plus 3 dice.
That's nice.
Oh no.
Math.
That's why she has a troubled face. She's like, oh no, mathematics, I forgot this part.
Superior.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Superior is great. You guys have done your team's job of getting this remarkable information about the vulnerability, but it also lets you know a very great deal about the possibility. The real problem is that once you get into that administrative sector, that security starts to matter. They start using codes, they start using guards, they start using psychotronic surveillance. Things get very high tech and dangerously watched. Remember when you got to Krog's administration building and all of a sudden everything changed? You realized just what kind of building this was. And the same thing goes for the military laboratories and things like that. Actually, to sabotage them is possible, but you cannot do it by just walking up to it. You would have to go and plan and establish, a complex series of events to sabotage it directly. The only other possibility, the only other possibility would be something like assassinating an important person, like Isabella Bain, for example, or to, if you want to follow up in some way about Kasparian, with whom you have not come near yet. But you have a really, really good idea of what's in these papers. Secondary targets, you have a much better chance. For example, disrupting communications. You would have a much better chance at that. Or, ruining if a matter transmitter team or attack group was being sent to Earth, you could disrupt the systems that gave it power and prevent it from happening, for example. So shutting down the entire operation is one thing, but damaging specific operations, you would know where to go. You wouldn't have to go into the central units of control for that.
Then the question is, if we destroy, are there some points that we can destroy fewer points? For example, communications.
Right.
If we destroy that, does it get easier to get into other places and destroy them later? So we can do a step by step.
Yeah, once you get some chaos going, then there's a lot more possibility, especially if you are able to jump bodies strategically.
Let's start off with telling Marshall what a fantastic person she is.
Okay,
How much
you
she
go right ahead,
unearthed.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is great.
Mm-hmm.
We do the wave inside her.
Margaret is sitting there and she feels, why is there a wave?
Right. Okay. So,
but
Nathan, do you want to?
Can I ask you?
Sorry, Ola, go ahead.
Yes. No. Was Nathan first?
No, he didn't make an indicator, but I am fascinated. He has his thinking face on.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
No opinion yet.
Okay. Go ahead, Ola.
Yeah, I was thinking that we have grown pretty. We don't want to hurt this girl, and we know if we just leave her going out in the woods, she might get hurt. If we take her back to the city, she will most probably get in some kind of danger. So, I mean, the most humane thing is actually to help her out in the woods and find this Timmy and those guys. That would be the most humane thing.
And they
And
may be able to help us.
I think we could actually go back after that, because we have a lot of information, we have a lot of stuff.
And it can be hard to go back from the woods.
No, we can go
Easier
back
with
to
a jump. Yeah, it's
Wait,
yes.
before we talk
that's
about
what I mean.
right. Before the Earth discussion, I want to see what Max has in mind.
Margaret wasn't in. She heard a conversation later before with Timmy, but now she can talk. So I guess she asked about who's Timmy, and then you said that information we had before.
Right.
Does she make a connection?
Well, you did a good job on that on those roles in the very first session when you were researching Kasparian's records. And yes, the first human subject that the human subjects that Isabella Bain were using were children. And the first person that she put through the transego device was a boy named Timmy or Timothy.
So that's when Margaret was like, oh, is that Timothy? She will ask.
The Machal explains to you carefully that Timothy is the full name and Timmy is what you call a child. Which you knew that, but she thought you were.
Yeah. Then before she wants to tell everybody quickly. She tells everybody else before she tells her, and like, okay, everybody, now you listen to me. Timothy was the first experiment that was sent. He's the first boy they ever sent in this machine.
Push.
85 years ago or more.
Yeah.
So, so he's basically the same age as Isabella Bain.
We need to find him.
Although,
Absolutely.
well, as far as the transego device is concerned, I mean, chronologically, he's younger than she is. She was an adult she was in her 40s in 1945.
If he can change through bodies, he can be whatever age that we know of.
Right. So he's been here. If he's been here ever since, he's probably changed multiple bodies, and probably so has she.
We need to find him.
Mm-hmm.
That's also helping us.
Yeah.
He might know information that we can use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, towards the Sherwood Forest.
That's right.
Shall we? Then Margaret asked, "Shall we tell her that? Should we tell her about? We shouldn't tell her about the ego device, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Just she help her. That will help her to get into the woods.
Then Margaret will put her in and say, "Okay, we need to find Timmy. Then, are you sure he's in the forest? Like ask politely. Are you sure he's in the forest? What do you know about him?"
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is actually a good question.
Should I roll a question?
No, I don't think so, because question is to find out information from people when you don't really want them to know you are asking. And and then persuade is somebody who might not want to do it, right? So that's fine. This is just a conversation. And so she says that at first the government issued a directive that there were absolutely no, there were no rebels. There were no, there were no people causing trouble or rebelling against her government. And that anybody who said so, was obviously just causing trouble. And then and then after that, then the government sought information, as much information as possible, about people who were living outside the city and were escaping from the city or leaving. And so gradually the population came to understand that there were people, mostly worms, and some rejects, people who had become progeny, but their bodies rejected the implants, who are the lowest of the low. And so that she knows that even some spawn have decided that they would rather not be ruled by Isabella. She says the squids especially.
What's the balance?
Oh, the balance is that's the weird belief of the squids. We don't know much about it. They have they don't need implants for their psychotronic powers. They have them just naturally. And so their priestess has developed those powers. They seek, well, actually, wait, I take that back. She doesn't know anything about the squids and their culture. The balance is something else. She says the balance was the religion here before Isabella came. It's the false religion, the bad one that was here before Isabella. And then she thinks for a second and says, wait a minute. That's what I was taught, that before the coming of Isabella, people had wrong and false beliefs. Could it? But that's not true.
Yes, it could.
She says, I don't know anything about the balance. All I know is whatever lies they told me. But are you? She's interested in, how do you know about the balance? What is?
I mean, I have a more of a technical game. When she's a cricket inside her own body, does she have psychic powers?
Now that's a very interesting question.
Because we have psychic powers, and we kind of knew about them immediately when we came there.
Right. Well, no, you had been told, remember? You had been prepared that you would be experiencing psychic phenomena. And of course, everybody thought the first jump team was crazy because of all this bizarre shit they kept talking about, right? So, and now you are realizing that it's kind of amazing that they came back able to talk at all. So, anyway, I want to say that we will move to the next stage of this adventure next week.
Yeah. So there's a cliffhanger in the.
It's all cliffhangers.
You made a cliffhanger.
We have never had anything but cliffhangers. That's how it is.
There's cliffhanger all the way down.
That's why people come back.
That's right. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks for tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.